Hi, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching and for subscribing. And if you're just visiting, please consider subscribing. So today I want to share with you a really fun tag that was created by the wonderful Joss from Joss Fragrance Mixology. I'm sure you all know her. If by some chance you don't, please make sure to go visit her channel and show her lots of love. Her channel will be linked in the description. So she created this really fun tag that's about 10 fragrances that I love now, but that younger me would have hated. And I thought this was such an interesting concept because my tastes have definitely changed drastically, completely. If I look back at fragrances that I liked then, they were so different from fragrances that I like now. And so this was really fun to think about fragrances that I have in my collection now and that I love, but fragrances that I couldn't even imagine wearing when I was younger. So the first one that I'm going to start with is Coco Mademoiselle from Chanel. I have always enjoyed Chanel fragrances, or more specifically, the Chance line. I've worn these fragrances for years. Coco Mademoiselle was always a scent that I wanted to love, but I just couldn't. Every time I would go to a department store, I would smell this fragrance. And every time I would hope that maybe now I'm going to love it. And every time I found it so strong and powerful and I just couldn't pull it off. How things have changed, because although I still think this is a strong, well-performing fragrance, there are definitely a lot of fragrances in my collection that are much stronger than this, a lot more powerful. Now, this fragrance has a ton of notes. Most of you are familiar with this fragrance. You know, this is a beautiful floral, fruity scent with a strong note of patchouli. And I think perhaps it was the patchouli that was scaring me when I was younger because it was so strong. But now, as you know, it's one of my favorite notes and it definitely doesn't scare me. I love this note. I love this fragrance, even though I might not wear it very often, but I still love it. It is still a staple in my collection and it is not going anywhere. Second fragrance that I have chosen is Tobacco Vanille from Tom Ford. And I think I've already spoken about this in some kind of previous video that, you know, again, this was a fragrance that I absolutely hated. Even a couple of years ago, I still didn't like it. Again, it was just too smoky for me, too masculine. I could have never even imagined myself wearing this fragrance when I was younger. Now, it's no big deal. It's not masculine. It's definitely unisex. It's not that strong. But back then, this was a big no. I mean, I'm not even sure if I would have tried it when I was really young because it had the word tobacco. No, if I see tobacco, well, that's definitely masculine. That was my mentality back then. Obviously, I don't think that way now. But this is a beautiful tobacco scent. It's vanilla, it's dried fruits, it's tobacco, gorgeous, especially for cold weather, amazing. So glad that my tastes have changed and that I can enjoy this type of scent now. And I have another one from Tom Ford. This is Eau de Soleil Blanc. Interestingly enough, this was the fragrance that actually started my real fragrance obsession or collection, if you want. I don't know why, but somehow this fragrance triggered me when I was finally able to wear it and like it. Because originally, again, this wouldn't have been a scent that I liked because it is this, you know, beachy, coconut, suntan lotion kind of scent. And I probably should have mentioned that at the beginning. You know, when I was young, my favorite scent profile was citruses. I loved fresh citrusy scents. If I was to go for something stronger or different, it would probably be some type of peony rose type of scent, maybe green tea. Well, I used to love green tea by Elizabeth Arden back in the day. So those were kind of scents that I wore, you know, nothing heavy for sure. And this scent, although it has that beachy coconut vibe, I like that. But because of the suntan lotion, I couldn't have worn it. I wouldn't have worn it when I first tested it. I definitely didn't like it, and I had to grow into this scent. So it's really interesting to see how my tastes have changed. Next scent that I want to mention is Mugler Angel, and I no longer have a bottle. I did have a bottle of the EDT, which is the version that I prefer. Again, Mugler was one of those houses that in general I just couldn't understand, couldn't wear. Again, I would pass by them, and you know, the aromas that were coming from Mugler counter, I would not even understand. I thought the bottles were strange. Just everything about the house was strange. And I could never pull off any of their fragrances when I was younger. But as I started, you know, experimenting with fragrances more, and as I got older, I definitely became more of an Angel fan than Alien. Alien was never my thing because it's a jasmine scent, and as we all know, I struggle with jasmine, but Angel is patchouli centric and it's sweet patchouli, so I do enjoy that scent. I decluttered it because I just have too many fragrances and I wasn't reaching for it as much as I wanted to reach for it, so I thought it would be better for someone else to have it and use it and love it, but I still really like it. I really like the scent profile. I can pull it off now, whereas when I was younger, I absolutely could not wear that scent. Next fragrance that I want to mention comes from the house of Amouage, and it is Sunshine. Absolutely all of the Amouage fragrances I would have hated when I was younger. That's without a doubt, because these fragrances are so strong, so powerful, so strange sometimes. I mean, Amouage is still a very challenging house for me even now. So back then, I definitely wouldn't have been able to pull it off. And even Sunshine, which is for me their most wearable scent and most liked scent for me, I still wouldn't have been able to pull it off because it is very strong. It is a beastly fragrance on me. And B, again, it has tobacco, even though it is, I think, white tobacco in here, or tobacco blossom, I'm not sure, which is definitely gentler than the regular tobacco note, but still tobacco is so evident here. I would have found this scent absolutely strange back then. I wouldn't have understood it. I wouldn't have been able to appreciate it. So definitely, I'm pretty sure I would have hated this one back then. Next one on the list is Fragrance du Bois, New York 5th Avenue. Now, I included this one, but honestly, I could have included any oud fragrance. As you know, I'm pretty new to oud. This is still a new note to me that I've only recently started to appreciate and like. But back then, definitely no. I wouldn't have enjoyed this note at all. I wouldn't have been able to wear this scent. I would have hated it for sure. This is a really, really nice rose, violet, oud, vanilla kind of combination. It is oudy, it is floral, it is just a little bit powdery. This is not an overwhelming type of oud at all. This is kind of a oud that's really well done. I mean, you can tell, high quality ingredients went into this fragrance. And even though oud is definitely on the lighter side here, I definitely wouldn't have been able to wear it when I was younger. Now, I'm going to shock you with the next scent because it is one of my favorite scents, and especially this scent profile. But back then, I didn't like those types of scents. I am talking about Lira. And again, I chose Lira as an example, but overall, this type of, serious, gourmand, really sweet fragrance, I didn't like back then. I couldn't even imagine wearing a scent like this. If there was a little bit of sweetness from like rose or maybe from florals, I don't know, I could pull it off. But to wear an actual gourmand, I couldn't even imagine, and I wouldn't have liked it at all. I don't need to say too much about Lira. I've spoken about it so many times. Gorgeous, sweet lemon pie. It has blood orange. I get lemon in here, so it's just a great lemon pie. Delicious, warm, sweet, beautiful gourmand. Beautiful, not overpowering, not the strongest gourmand at all, but that's how I feel now. Back then, my tastes were very different. Next fragrance that I included is from Stefan Umber Lucas, and this is Taklamakan. This is a beautiful, spicy amber fragrance. But all of the elements that this fragrance has, I would have hated back then. Amber, I didn't like at all. It was one of my most hated notes. Spiciness, I couldn't stand. I would have hated that element as well. What else? It has woody elements. It has a bit of smoke. I don't think I would have liked smoky elements of this. I would have hated every element of this fragrance back then. Now, I think it's stunning. It's kind of a smoky, slightly smoky, spicy amber that's just a touch dry, just a touch. Beautiful amber scent. I mean, there is no amber included in here, but to me, this has ambery feel to it. That's why I keep calling it ambery scent, but it is beautiful, warm, spicy, sweet, rich, gorgeous. Back then, would have been a big no. And the last one that I'm going to include is another one of my favorites and a very popular scent profile now. But again, back then when I was young, I wouldn't have understood this scent combination or the scent profile at all. I'm talking about Delox from TIZIANA TERENZI. Again, number one issue is that this is a powerhouse of a fragrance. This is strong, would have been way too much for me. I would have been, when I was younger, I was kind of, I don't know, shy probably to wear very strong scents. I thought, oh my God, people are going to smell me. I'm going to overpower them. That's not good. I mean, I don't care as much these days, to be honest, but back then that was kind of my mentality. And so this is definitely a strong scent. But the other thing is this is, coffee, rose, vanilla. Well, rose I liked. That was always a note that I enjoyed, but coffee in a fragrance, that just back then made absolutely no sense to me. I would have hated it. I wouldn't have been able to pull it off. And so that's why I included it here. So there you go. This is my take on Joss's tag fragrances that I love now, but would have hated when I was younger. Would love to see your take on this tag, whether in a video or in the comments below. What are some of the scents that you love now, but would have hated when you were younger? Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please remember to give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you soon in the next video. Bye.